Hey guys, welcome back to Show and Tell What the Hell. I wanted to take a dive into this Transformers Heart of Steel set that I got not too long ago, but it's the question here is this going to be worth your time or money? And actually, let me do a little research here on how much it's going for. It's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. You're not going to be able to find this in the stores. So yeah, it's $60. It's out of stock on Hasbro Pulse. So I mean, if you'll probably be able to get it on the secondary market, but is it worth it even then? So I'm going to show you just to see. I mean, look, it's a nice looking box. You know, it really didn't need this slipcase. So you got two deluxe scaled figures that look nice. They look nice. But deluxe is, I mean, roughly about $25, $24.99, but going up to like the $30 mark. So in that regard, you are getting your bang for the buck. I guess you're paying for something that would be, I guess somewhat cost equivalent. So let me open these guys up and just take a look, right? Oops. There we go. One more time at the slipcase cover. I mean, really nice art there. I mean, it's cool. This it's kind of textured right here too. So, while it's nice, I find it to be also not really so necessary for Transformer collectors. I like that this little it looks like it has like a little latch right there, but it doesn't work, so why put that? But it is a nice steampunky industrial looking box thing, and yes, it's cool. I guess that's the expectation that some people have for an exclusive. I come from the world of getting stuff from a Sears catalog and, you know, getting stuff loose, you know, and Transformers, I mean, hey, these are figures that are meant to be opened, right? So let's take a look at, I guess, the Starscream. And, you know, Starscream is definitely one of my favorite characters, especially the cartoon version, so complex, Shakespearean character. I like this Starscream. I'm a Starscream collector, so that's one of my main motivations for buying this. I guess it's a pretty decent price. You know, now that it's sold out, hopefully you'll get some more coming in or produced. I missed out on the Megatron and Bumblebee, but I wasn't in a big rush to get it. Now I kind of feel like I want to get it because I have the Starscream and Prime. So I guess I'm not going to transform these, by the way, just to give you a heads up. I don't display if there's any vehicles. I don't really display them in vehicle mode anyway. And I'm also, it takes a lot of time and it takes away from the experience that you'd have from actually doing that yourself. But very detailed for a figure, you know, a deluxe scale figure. And it's not really too big, but it does the job. I mean, I'm used to having a few deluxe sized Starscreams back, like, you know, Energon Starscream is deluxe sized, and of course classic Starscream. I don't know, it's a neat little figure. I do like the head sculpt. That's one of the things that I'm really into as far as like Transformers. Do they capture the likeness of the character? Does it look good? I always like my Starscreams with a little bit of a smirk, but that's just my bias. These came like this, but you know, of course I'd like to see a Skywarp and Thundercracker. You got to have the other two brothers there. So there's our Starscream. Let's go into our Optimus Prime. You saw that. It can be fixed. So you're going to have problems here with some sort of articulation. This wants to come out when you do it that way. When you rotate the leg this direction, it wants to come off there. So just be careful with that. Real nice little head sculpt. is definitely Optimus Prime. Nice bright gold. They don't use that often enough in our Transformers. I like that the gold can get translated to like looks almost yellowy. So it, especially with Armada Prime, I felt like it could have gone a little bit brighter on the gold, and it just really gives a nice little contrast to the red and blue. The all-American Optimus Prime. Now, is there a potential for this mold later? Yeah, of course, Nemesis Prime, Ultra Magnus if you wish. There's always, going to be potential for repainting this. But how about Thomas the Train? I'm not sure if this is supposed to turn into a larger... Oh, this turns into the smokestack. This cannon here. So, nice little touch to it. I'm not much of a train guy. I'm not one of those guys that sits around looking at trains and getting all excited about it. But I do like that this is a... this, I guess, is a shield. That they made this. I like different versions of Optimus Prime. I wish this was a Voyager scale one, but what you gonna do, right? You got it. The plastic to me is a little thin. It feels a little thin. It doesn't feel great. But just to give you a scale, a comparison to some of the other recent primes, this one feels a little bit bigger. This is the Devastation Prime. Oh, that's a nice little question that I got. Does he have a matrix or something like that? I don't know. Does this thing open up? Will I break it? Let's find out. No, unfortunately, doesn't look like he has a matrix chamber in here. Wasted opportunity. But, details. Again, this thing just fell off. Ugh, God, that's not going to be good. That's a nightmare right there, really. Hopefully they'll fix that if they do a rerun on this. I don't really mess around with my Transformers that much unless it's something like there's certain robot like this one right here I've been messing around with a lot. He's fun to play with. The plastic quality seems to be a little bit thicker on this fella, and I feel like I could toss him around and he'll be fine. This one seems like his shoulders and certain other areas might crack. But it looks good, right? It looks fantastic. But for some reason, I don't know why, this guy just seems a little bit taller. He's not as tall, but it just seems a little bit bigger to me. Maybe it's the thighs. I don't know. Thigh Master Prime. But otherwise, it kind of does make me want to pick up the Megatron now that I got it. It's just getting increasingly difficult to scale this, mini lines like this with the mainline stuff, because you're getting more and more Voyagers out there, and if you have a character that should be a Voyager, like this Prime for instance, you really have to just confine it to the characters that you're given, or find some other little train character that was a scout class. I can't think of any offhand, but maybe something in the Energon or Cybertron line that might fit with them, or just some random little scout class. I don't know. But if you could think of any cool compatible characters that would go with the Heart of Steel line, by all means let me know. It'd be interesting to get that. Put them in there. Stuff that may not come out in the comics that you can use your imagination for, like what if. But a nice little Optimus Prime variant. Again, nice price for it too. Just unnecessarily, a little bit too much with regards to packaging. One thing I want to point out, there's a little bit of metallic paint on the fist, so that's pretty cool. It's not really reflected on anywhere else on the body, I don't see, but that's still pretty cool. Would have been nice to have that on the helmet, but I'm glad they painted the eyes. It didn't go for the very dark, clear plastic that they've done before. Maybe yellow would have shown a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. But otherwise, I guess I would recommend this. If you could find it, hopefully Hasbro puts it back out. You could find it on AliExpress for $80. That means you're paying about 40 bucks for a figure. I don't think it's worth 80 bucks. I really don't. But if you got it for 60, 75, maybe 70, then yeah, I think it'd be worth it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later on.